Greetings children. Welcome to my channel Inside Accountancy by Shakun. Today we'll be talking about Chapter 2 Basic Accounting Terms. The contents of this video are receipt, expenditure, expense, income, profit, gain, loss, book value, balance sheet, financial statements or final accounts. These are certain basic terms which a student of accountancy must understand. Some more terms have been taken up in the previous video. In order to have more clarity about the other terms such as assets, liabilities, capital, etc., kindly refer to my previous video. Let's take up the first basic term, receipt. Receipt is the amount received or receivable for selling assets, goods, or services. So it is the amount which a business has received or will receive in the future due to selling of the assets or the goods in which the firm deals or the services which the firm provides. Receipts are further categorized into revenue receipts and capital receipts. Let's talk about revenue receipts first. Revenue receipt is the amount which is received or receivable in the normal course of business, say against the sale of goods or rendering of services or investment of business resources, say in fixed deposits. So basically receipts means the amount which the business has received or will receive in future because of the normal working operations, the normal course of operations. Normal course of operations means if a business is related to selling of shoes, so selling shoes is the normal working operations of the business. So during the normal working operations, the money which is earned by the business is referred to as revenue receipt. Now these revenue receipts are shown in the profit and loss account in case of a sole proprietor, and they are shown in income and expenditure account in case of a NPO. As I've already talked about the examples, the money which a business earns from the sale of goods or by providing the services or by receiving the interest on the investments that have been made by the business, they are all falling in the category of revenue receipts. So remember, revenue means regular. So anything which you regularly receive is termed as revenue receipt. Now the second category is capital receipt. Capital receipt is the amount which is received or receivable against those transactions which are not revenue in nature. As I told you, revenue means something which is regular. So something which is not regular is termed as a capital receipt. Now these capital receipts are shown on the balance sheet side in the balance sheet of the business concern. Now, the example can be the amount which is received or receivable from the sale of machinery or building or furniture or investment or any kind of loan that is taken. So whenever, see, we do not sell machinery every now and then. Like every month you will be making sales, but every month you will not be selling your machinery, right? So therefore the money which you earn, the money which you receive from the sale of your assets such as machinery, building, furniture, etc. will be termed as a capital receipt because it is not regular in nature. Let's talk about the second term, that is expenditure. Expenditure is the amount which is spent or the liability which is incurred for acquiring assets or goods or services. So any cost that you incur in order to acquire any fixed assets or the goods in which the business is dealing or for acquiring any kind of services is termed as expenditure. Now this expenditure is further classified into three categories: capital expenditure, revenue expenditure, and deferred revenue expenditure. Let's talk about the first category, capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is the amount which is incurred or the expenditure which is incurred to acquire assets or improving the existing assets, which will further increase the earning capacity of the business. See, a business always acquires fixed assets so that its earning capacity is increased. Therefore, the amount that is spent on fixed assets ultimately leads to increase in the earning capacity of the business. Now, these assets can be tangible or intangible, and they are always shown in the on the asset side in the balance sheet. Now, such expenditures may be for the purchase of machinery, for the purchase of furniture or computers to be used for carrying out the business. So, all these expenditures which you are not making on a regular basis and for which you are spending huge amounts which increases the earning capacity are referred to as capital expenditures. Now, revenue. I again told you revenue expenditure. So, the term revenue, whenever you read, you should understand that revenue means something which is regular in nature. So, revenue expenditure is the expenditure incurred, the benefit of which is consumed or exhausted within the accounting period. Now, it has direct relationship with the revenue or with the accounting period. So you have to understand that the expenditure which you are making on such things which will get exhausted during the accounting period. The accounting period is of 12 months. For example, if you say that you've paid salaries or you've paid rent. So if you have paid rent for the premises, for the building for a period of 12 months, that will expire in this year only. Next year again you have to pay the rent. So the benefit of giving rent, the benefit of using the premises will be expired in the current accounting year only. In the next year again you have to pay rent. Similarly, if you have a manager and you are paying salary to the manager, so next year again you have to pay salary to the manager. So the benefit of these expenditures, they get exhausted within the accounting period. Now these expenditures, they are shown on the trading and profit and loss account, and they are shown in the statement of P&L or income and expenditure account. Now all these accounts may be looking alien to you. Trading and profit and loss account is prepared by a sole proprietor. Statement of profit and loss is prepared by a company, and income and expenditure account is prepared by an NPO. NPO is a non-profit organization. So these revenue expenditures are respectively shown in these particular accounts. Moving on to the next classification, we have deferred revenue expenditure. Deferred revenue expenditure is a revenue expenditure in nature, but it is written off or charged in more than one accounting period because it is estimated that the benefit of these expenditures will accrue in more than one financial year. For example, advertisement expenditure account. Now let's take the example of an advertisement. Suppose a business concern has spent 5 lakh on its advertisements. Now these 5 lakh will give the firm or give the company benefit in the years to come. The same advertisement would be used by the business in the next, let's say, 5 to 6 years. Let's say that the business feels that the same advertisement is going to be used for the next 5 years. Now that 5 lakh, if it is charged as an expenditure in the current year only, then the firm will go into losses. So what the firm does is it recognizes it as a deferred revenue expenditure incurred, the benefit of which we will get in the years to come. Therefore, let's say they decide to write it off in 1/5 of the total expenditure, right? So every year 1 lakh will be written off as expenditure from your profit and loss account. So you will not go into losses, and moreover the benefit will be spread over a period of 5 years. So this is the deferred revenue expenditure, the expenditure which gives us benefit in the coming accounting years also. Moving on, the next term is expense. Now, expense is a very common term which I am sure you must be using a lot of times. Expense basically is the cost incurred for generating revenue. Now, what is revenue? Revenue means any inflow of cash or receivables or other consideration which is arising in the ordinary activities of the enterprise from the sale of goods, from rendering service, and from the use by others for any kind of resources. Okay, so revenue basically means the amount which a firm is earning from its operating activities. So the cost incurred for generating revenue. So in order to make sure we earn revenue, the cost which we incur is referred to as expense. Now expense may be in the form of a cash payment or writing off a part of fixed asset or amount written off out of a current asset or decline in the value of investment. If we pay off our investments, that can also be an expense. Now expense may also be in the form of cost of goods sold, and it is always debited to trading and profit and loss account. The trading and profit and loss account is a topic which we are going to study in the chapters to come. This is one of the account that is prepared by the business in order to ascertain the gross profit as well as the net profit. Now, expenses are further classified into two: outstanding expenses and prepaid expenses. Let's talk about outstanding expenses first. It is an expense that has been incurred but has not been paid. For example, if I say salary outstanding, that means that the business had to pay salary to a manager for the current year but has not paid the salary. That means the expense was due, it had to be paid, but the business has not paid. So that means it becomes a liability. Okay, and it is debited to trading and P&L account also, and it is shown in the balance sheet on the liability side also. So outstanding expenses means an expense which is due, which had to be paid but has not been paid by the business. On the other hand, prepaid expense refers to an expense that has been paid in advance. Means you have paid an expense of the next year in this year only, and the benefit you will be receiving in the years to come. Now, prepaid expenses is an asset. It is shown on the credit side of trading and P&L, credit side of profit and loss account, and it is also shown as an asset in the balance sheet. Now, let's take an example. For example, if insurance premium is paid in advance, let's say the insurance premium has been paid for 1 year till 1st of October. So the insurance has been paid till 1st of October. Now accounting year ends on 31st of March. Right? Every accounting year starts from 1st of April, the financial year, and it ends on 31st of March. Now if the insurance premium is paid till 1st of October, that means 31st March our year ends. So after March, April, May, June, July, August, September. 6 months insurance premium which has been paid relates to the next year. So therefore we call it as a prepaid expense because it has been paid in the current year but it relates to the next financial year. Moving on to the next term is income. Now income basically is a very broad term. It is the profit earned during an accounting period. It is the difference between the revenue and expense. So the difference between the amount that you are earning from operating activities and the cost which you are incurring to generate that revenue is income. As I told you, it is a broader term. It is broader than the term profit. It includes profit from non-operating activities also. So basically, income is a broad term. It means that the money which you are earning from operating activities and non-operating activities. Now, what are operating activities? The activities which are related to the normal working operations of a business are operating activities, and those which are related with not the normal working operations are non-operating activities. We will learn about this in the next terms also. It will be more clear to you. So for now, understand that income is a broad term and it includes the profit from both operating as well as non-operating activities. Now income, as I told you, is always equal to revenue, which is generated from operating activities or non-operating activities, minus the expenses, that is the cost incurred for generating the revenue. For example, if the goods costing 15,000 are sold for 21,000, this is a business transaction. So the cost of goods sold, the cost of selling the goods, making the goods is 15,000. This is an expense. They are sold for 21,000. That means this is the revenue. So revenue minus expense, that is 21,000 minus 15,000, 6,000 will be our income. Now, a business should always remember that they should always try to balance the gap between income and expense. Otherwise, it will lead to its downfall. Let's move on to the next term, which is related to the term income, profit. Now, profit is the income which is earned from operating activities. The operating activities means the activities which are carried out by the enterprise in order to earn profit, which relate to the normal working operations. So if the activities relate to normal working operations and you earn something out of it, we call it profit. These normal working operations may be the sale of goods, the goods in which the business is dealing in, or rendering of services, providing services to the people. Now, profit can be further classified as gross profit and net profit. Gross profit is the difference between the revenue that is the money which is earned from sales or services rendered and its direct cost. And the net profit is the profit which we obtain by deducting all the expenses from the total revenue. So for now, please understand this much only, that gross profit and net profit are two terms, and these are the classifications of profit. Gross profit means the sale value minus the cost of goods sold, whereas net profit means when we subtract all other expenses from gross profit. Next term is gain. Now gain is an increase in owner's equity. So gain basically is the income which is earned from non-operating activities. The profit from non-operating activities but which are incidental to operating activities is referred to as gain. So if we just recapitulate, income, we talked about income. Income means the profit which is earned from operating as well as non-operating activities. Profit means the income which is earned from operating activities, and gain means the income which is earned from non-operating activities. Now, what are non-operating activities? Such as gain on sale of land. Let's say you had a fixed asset, you had land, and now the business wants to sell the land. On selling the land, the business made a profit. Now, that profit is relating to a non-operating activity. Why non-operating? Because the business is not involved in the selling of land. The business ka main purpose is not to sell land. The main purpose of the business is to carry out other activities. So if the business is making profit by selling land, that profit is from non-operating activities and it is referred to as gain. Now please understand that as I told you, income is a broad term. Income includes profit as well as gain. Profit means from operating activities and gain means from non-operating activities, and total of both means the income. Let's talk about the next term, that is loss. Loss again is a very broad term. It is basically the excess of expenses over its revenue. So if the business is spending more but earning less, it leads to loss. Now this loss can decrease the owner's equity. Profits always increase the owner's equity. Owner's equity means the capital. And losses always decrease the owner's equity or the capital. Now this loss can be in operating activities or against which the firm receives no benefit, such as loss by theft. There was a theft in the business because of which the firm had to incur a loss. So the firm is not going to benefit from that. Such kind of losses are also in this category. Or it can be loss from events of non-recurring nature, such as loss on sale of fixed assets. For example, similar as we talked about in case of gain, if I'm selling land and I'm making money on it or I'm making profit on it, that is termed as gain. But it's similarly, if I sell land and if I incur a loss on that, that is termed as loss. If I sell it lesser than the book value, then it will lead to loss and it will fall in this category. Let's talk about the next term which I just used, book value. Now book value is a very simple term. It is the amount at which an item appears in the books of accounts. So the value at which an item is shown in the books of accounts is referred to as book value. For example, machinery purchased for 2 lakh will be shown in the books of accounts at rupees 2 lakh. This machinery purchase will be shown on the asset side of the balance sheet and the amount that will be shown will be 2 lakh. So 2 lakh will be the book value of machinery, the amount at which it is recorded. The next term is financial statements. Financial statements are presented in order to ascertain the profit or loss or to show the financial position of a business concern. Financial statements are of two types, income statement and position statement. As the name itself is suggesting, income statement tells us about our income. So income statement involves the preparation and presentation of trading and profit and loss account. From the trading account, we come to know about our gross profit, and from the profit and loss account, we come to know about our net profit. On the other hand, position statement, again, as the name itself is suggesting, tells us about our financial position. It involves the preparation of a balance sheet. Balance sheet shows us the position of our assets and our liabilities. So financial statements involves the preparation of trading and profit and loss account and the balance sheet. Thank you so much for listening to me so patiently. I hope the concepts were clear to you. If you really liked my content, please like my video, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. Thank you so much.